Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, family, friends, and professors. Welcome to what is our final thesis presentation. We thank you for being here on all the bits of our journey. And now we'll go on to introduce once again the artificially intelligent holographic help desk for AUC, YAZI. But instead, with boring you of the details, we're gonna do that later anyway, but instead of doing this in the introduction, I'm gonna let Yazi speak for herself.
My purpose is to provide information and guidance on various academic programs, course requirements, and university life. Equipped with a comprehensive database, I offer accurate and relevant responses to user queries. I can interpret and understand questions expressed in different ways and provide consistent answers. Additionally, I have a holographic interface for an engaging experience.
Now we go on to introducing our team. So we have Mariam, Rawan, Iman, Aref, Nour, and myself, Ahmed. And we are under the supervision of Dr. Seif Eldawlatly and Dr. Mohamed Sedky. So our inspiration for this starts off that the AUC community is very large and diverse. We also have difficulty navigating through the university community and the environment. We also have, it's very challenging and time consuming to access the resources and the services. Another point is the fact that we don't have such a system on the AUC, so we require an advanced system implementation to fill this technological gap. Last but not least, our help desk is very good, but it is limited due to that humans can only have limited number of requests. They also get tired. So this causes long queue times and limited availability hours. Now we go on to our objectives.
Excuse me, my voice. I forgot it at home today. First of all, we will go on. So let's talk about our objectives. In the beginning of last semester, we had goals that we wanted to achieve. First of all was to develop a modular system that can be adopted by other institutions, such as malls, hospitals, and banks. Second of all, we have to evaluate the effectiveness of the proposed system, is YAZI. Third of all was to produce a commercialized product. And fourth was to enhance the overall user experience using information and help desks.
As for our research methodology, in developing YAZI, we conducted a mixed methodology that combines secondary and primary research. Our secondary research involved analyzing existing studies and market data. As for our primary research, we focused on the American university community. Through interviews and surveys, we gathered insights about the features and preferences for YAZI's avatar appearance, in which to ensure not only that YAZI would be technologically advanced, but also to be tailored to fit our target audience, which is the AUC community.
After allowing you to gain a little perspective, we once again introduce YAZI, tailor-made to fit the needs of the AUC community. She's an AI assistant powered by generative pre-trained transformers, GPT. It's a modular system that can fit into any environment and into any market, with a data set customizable exclusively to fit your own needs and requirements, and an avatar design that makes your users most comfortable. To start interacting with YAZI, you will first wave your hand, And Yazi will then recognize your hand wave, and then she will greet you. After she greets you, you can then start speaking your question into the microphone. And after speaking your question, you can watch as Yazi processes your query using advanced AI methods, ensuring a precise response in under 30 seconds. Yazi's answers don't just conclude with the answers, it also bids you a farewell and invites you for another round of conversation with just another wave. And this was designed to mirror natural human interaction to help create a more comfortable and familiar user experience. And here is the hardware architecture that our user will interact with. So you have the camera for detecting the hand gesture, the microphone, so for the user to speak its questions into, and the hologram to project Yazi, our avatar, and the speakers, so you can listen to Yazi's response.
An essential feature in Yazi was the gesture recognition component, in which we integrated the OpenCV library to develop an accurate waving detection mechanism. This ensures that Yazi would be activated with just a simple hand wave, and this creates a very simple, natural, and effortless user experience. And to ensure an ease and convenience to the user, the system is set to detect up to a 1 meter distance the hand wave. And once activated, Yazi interprets the user queries using the advanced speech recognition technology that is utilized using the library speech recognition that is integrated with Google's API, powerful speech recognition API. And through this, it ensures that Yazi would interpret correctly the user queries.
So we wanted to ensure the precision of Yazi's answers. That's why we used Haystack. We used it to be specific, the retriever augmented generation, and we call it RAG. And it's composed of 3 components. The first is the document store, where we actually store our data, and the second part is the data retrieval. And here we actually use an embedding retrieval that's based on a transformer model, and then it retrieves the data based on the semantics and the sentence similarities. And so you can think of the document store as our database that contains all of our data, all of our text, and then it provides the data to the retriever at the query time. And the final step is the response generation, and here comes the AI part. So to be specific, we've used the GPT 3.5 Turbo as our model, as it generates the answers from the retrieved data. Okay. So as we've said before, the ADSI is tailored to the AUC community, and that's why our data focused on the AUC. So our data set contains information such as the academics in AUC and the frequently asked questions. And next. And it also contains information about the policies and regulations at AUC, and the admission, like how can I apply for AUC and other stuff.
And the main component that brings Yazi to life is our animation API. This advanced API tool takes the formulated API response and animates the avatar to bring a live interactive experience to the user.
So let's conclude what Iman and Nour just discussed. So here's our software architecture. So Yazi starts as a standby, as you can see here. And then when a hand wave is detected, she greets you, and then she starts listening to you. The user then will speak its query, and then our speech-to-text API will convert it into a text. The query is then taken to our embedding retrieval model, and then the embedding retrieval model will fetch our answer from the database or knowledge base. And then the related text that is fetched from the database will go into GPT 3.5, which formulates the answer to the user. The response will go to Studio DID, which is our animation API. It will animate the hologram, and it will display the hologram saying the response. And here is a live demo.
valuable, and we're hurrying to help you. Hang in there. Great service is on its way. Accounting is a major. Students must complete the following courses: financial accounting, managerial accounting, introduction to macroeconomics or introduction to microeconomics, and statistics for business. The declaration GPA is calculated by adding 60% of the overall GPA at the time of declaration to 40% of the average GPA in the financial and managerial accounting courses. The Bachelor of Accounting degree requires a minimum of 27 credit hours, including the aforementioned courses, and always here to help. Have a great day.
And after exploring Yazi's capabilities, let's navigate through Yazi's challenges that we encountered. First is the initial challenge we encountered was the gesture recognition sensitivity, in which the system detected non-intention waves or gestures as activation gestures. And to avoid that and to resolve it, we took into consideration more calculations like the speed and motion and distance to be more accurate. And also to ensure a higher quality of interpreting user queries, we upgraded our microphone to a higher quality to ensure that Yazi would interpret the queries correctly.
Okay, so before using our haystack data retrieval model that Iman explained a while ago, we actually only used GPT 3.5 Turbo, fine-tuned on our own collected dataset. However, since GPT is a generative model and it has a large base knowledge, it usually provided inconsistent results, which means if I ask the same question twice, it can provide completely different answers, in addition to that the results were not always correct. So after using our haystack data engine embedding model, we were able to achieve consistent results and correct results. Okay. Next on, we're gonna move on to the user experience. Okay, so since this is tailor-made to fit the needs of the AUC community, we decided to survey them once again after they used our system. However, due to time constraints, we were only able to let 25 people test, but they were from a variety of class standings and majors, as illustrated here on the screen and the graphs. And here we can see a sample of questions asked by the users, their answers generated by Yazi, and the ground truth, which is the actual answer from our data set. And we can see that Yazi generates the same content of the answer. However, through the power of GPT 3.5, it's able to generate a unique answer each and every time it's queried for the same question. After the users tested Yazi, we decided to ask them about their tendency to use our system again regarding 3 aspects: if they would recommend such system to others, and if they use Yazi again for similar queries, and if the system met their expectations. And as we can see, out of all of our participants, they agreed to the aforementioned statements.
So we asked the users whether they found Yazi as a useful tool, and most of our users agreed that Yazi is a useful tool and it's also easy to use. Next. And they also indicated that Yazi provided them with accurate answers that are relevant to their queries, and they consider Yazi to be more interactive, as we've said before, and we discussed that the holographic display is one of the essential parts of Yazi, as it gives it like more human-like interaction. So here we can see that most of the users are inclined to use the Yazi because of its holographic display, and also they found that it was more comfortable to like interact with her compared to humans at help desks. And also they found it to be more time efficient and more accurate compared to the humans at help desks, since it uses like AI and it just like gets the information directly from the data set. So at the end of our testing, we asked the users, do you have like some improvements or suggestions for the current version of Yadzi? And like most of the responses, or like 72% of the users said that no, they're already satisfied with the current version. However, like 28%, they wanted like more improvements in terms of the speed of the responses and the content of the data set. And also they wanted to see like follow-up questions from Yadzi. One last thing is that they wanted to have like other catalog versions, since our dataset only include the last up-to-date version of the catalog. So here we wanted to quantify the performance of Yadzi, and that's why we calculated the margin of error. So out of like 67 questions, we scored like 62 questions correct. And this corresponds to a percentage of 92.5% of correct answers. And like the other percentage was mainly due to like some issues such as the ambiguity of the questions, or that the voice is not clear enough.
Okay, so after listening to the user suggestions for improvement, we bring you Yadi's Path to Future Innovation. So our first feature enhancement is to have a larger dataset content to increase the broadness of topics a user can inquire about. And then since Yazi is very internet dependent, we wanted to make it less internet dependent so the response time can be consistent and fast. We also wanted to make Yazi more personalized to individual needs rather than only institutional needs. So for example, if I'm a student, I can inquire about advising, for example. We also aim to make a chatbot version of Yazi to increase scalability and availability, and also for students that prefer text questions and answers. And finally, we wanted Yazi to be able to understand more languages, not only English.
That was a lot of data to take in. And so now we will talk about our empowerment outcome, which is a commercialized product. About a year ago, we met together and decided our group, and we came up with this idea, but I always thought that this idea was sellable. And so for the empowerment outcome, we thought of what we can do to make this idea an official and legitimate business. So we thought of key partners and what we would need to start this business. First of all, technology providers. Being able to partner with providers for the hologram and processors for this technology would be beneficial to us, as well as institutions such as AUC, where we could market our product and as well use it as a customer base. And finally, investors, which is the most important thing. So pay attention. So our customer segments are educational institutions. We started off with AUC. And second of all, retail sector, such as malls. Just yesterday, I was in a mall and I asked the information help desk, and I thought to myself, you could have had that. Third of all, we have the healthcare facilities, such as hospitals, where we can have a smart nurse or a receptionist that could book appointments for patients. And lastly, financial institutions, such as banks, where this hologram could replace bank telling or even help around with bank telling. For the key activities that we are conducting, first of all, it is research and development to further develop our product. Second of all, we have marketing, which is a very important aspect in making this business successful, hopefully. And third of all, customer support. We always have to maintain this product, as data sets can always get larger and they should always be up to date. And
proposition, as Yazi stands out. First, Yazi ensures consistency, in which Yazi always maintains a high quality of answers and user experience, unlike a human operation that can be affected through various factors or the human capabilities. Next is the human-like interaction, where we compare Yazi to the standard chatbot, in which Yazi offers a more human-like interaction, where it understands and processes natural language that creates a more human-like interaction and more comfortable user experience. Next, the availability, where Yazi is always on hand and can be available 24/7 for support. Also, it can reduce wait times, in which it answers queries faster, that avoids long queues, then it may reduce the waiting time. Also, modularity, where Yazi or our system is adaptable and modular system that can be customized and adapted to any environment or any institution. Also, integration capabilities, where our system can be integrated with existing systems seamlessly compared to a human operating service. And lastly, cost efficiency, where our system is a cost-effective solution that eliminates the use for a large scale of staff and training expenses. So overall, it reduces the operational cost.
For the key resources in our project, first of all, we have our technical expertise to develop this project. Second of all, is GPT 3.5 Turbo and RAG to retrieve this information. And this is the main aspect of our project that helps us be customizable and so on with large data sets. Third of all, the Studio DID, which developed Yazi's avatar that speaks to you. And lastly is our hardware that we need, of course. For the channels of marketing, we studied that this business would require B2B business strategy. For it cannot be for regular customers, it's only businesses. And so our only approach is direct sales, as well as business-to-business partnerships, such as, hopefully you see.
For our cost structure, we have 3 types of outflows. The first one is the operational costs, which are the costs of the GPT 3.5 subscription and the Studio DID subscription to power up our system. Second, we have marketing and sales, which are the costs of promoting and advertising for our system. And that also encompasses the cost for the customer support and the sales team. Lastly, we have the research and development, which are the costs to further develop our system and broaden its capabilities.
So for the revenue streams, we actually have prices. First of all, our customer base would pay an initial payment, which is one-time sales. Second of all, subscription fees to continue our service. And third of all, service fees in case of maintenance or quality assurance. So
now for our competitors in the market, we currently have 2 competitors. The first is the product of Holotube, which is just a holographic display used in events and museums. And it's produced by the company Exhibitry, and the price range is like between $65,000 and $85,000. And for our second competitor, which is Super Assistant Alfred by the company Sidekick, and the price is like $70,000. So what makes us special compared to these products currently in the market is that Yazi has an AI component. However, like for example, the Holotube is just like the holographic display without the AI part. And the second competitor, it's just like used for home assistant tasks such as Alexa and so on.
So the previous slide, the Holotube and the other competitor all of them are just projectors. They are not interactive and they are not customized in any way. So we came up with these prices, keeping in mind that Yazi has 24/7 availability from our value proposition. So we came up with the price 8,100 as an initial payment, which is still less than 3 employees working in that position, keeping in mind that she takes the place of 3 employees. No, I'm not saying anything, by the way. Second of all, monthly subscription fees, which maintains the cost of the Studio DID, as well as the GPT 3.5 Turbo, which takes minimal costs. And all of this is still cost efficient compared to an employee in this position in a general case.
As we conclude our presentation, we're excited to present to you Beyond Yazi. Yazi is just the start, and we want to show you our ability to create diverse AI characters to fit any environment and any needs.
أهلا بكم في المتحف المصري الحديث، حيث ينبض التاريخ بالحياة. أنا كليوباترا، هنا لأرشدكم خلال عجائب مصر القديمة. لا تترددوا في طرح أي أسئلة حول المعروضات، القصص أو الحضارة المصرية المدهشة.
Thank you, everyone. That concludes the end of our presentation.